is Grace Beeler, and I'm here to talk to you about this movie project that I'm doing. I'm a grad student at North Carolina State University, and I'm focusing on public health, especially water and sanitation in lesser developed countries. I was an ESL teacher for many years, and so when you work with refugees like I did, you hear a lot of crazy stories. And one of the stories that always stuck with me was a story from a family from Burma who was burned out of their village by Burmese soldiers and then had to walk for about 3 months over mountains, through jungle, to cross into Thailand to get to safety. And when they got to the refugee camp in Thailand, the baby that they had carried all this way died from drinking water that had been contaminated by animal and human waste. So when I went back to school, I was thinking about that a lot, and I wanted to focus on that. So I took a class in water and sanitation in lesser developed countries at UNC last year, and we watched a lot of really cool videos on really cool projects around the world, and we learned a lot of cool stuff. And one of the things we learned about was this thing called condominial sewage in Brazil, which in the 90s, some young, innovative Brazilian engineers decided that they were going to fix the sanitation problem of the favelas in Brazil. The favelas are kind of urban slums. They're a lot of people will move into the city from the countryside, but since they don't have a place to live, they'll just kind of construct their own little makeshift houses on the edges of the city, and they end up being like building one on top of the other with no room. I mean, they're so crowded, there's no room for even an outhouse. They don't have sewers. It tends to be a big mess, like a lot of urban slums around the world. We have now more than 1 billion people living in urban slums around the world, and there are more every day. So anyway, these engineers, Jose Carlos Melo was sort of the main one, decided that they were going to modify engineering standards. They said, why do we have to use these big metal pipes? Let's just use smaller PVC pipes. Why do we have to dig below the frost line? There's no frost in Brazil, so let's go shallower. Let's put the pipes under sidewalks so we don't have to worry about cars going over them and breaking them. And let's involve the community. So they have the community get together and they organize block by block. That's sort of the condominium idea, where people organize and they'll do a lot of the labor themselves. They dig the ditches, they decide where the pipes are going to go, and then they're responsible for maintenance afterward. So anyway, we learned about this, but there was no nice little video for us to watch about this condominial sewage in Brazil. And I told the professor, I can make that video. I'm married to a Brazilian, I speak Portuguese, I go to Brazil often, and I need a capstone project for my master's degree, why not do this? So he said sure, my professors at NCSU said sure, so here I am, fundraising for this project. It's a great idea, and it's been used in some parts of Brazil, in a little bit in Latin America, and a couple places in Asia. But there's not a lot of information on it at all on the web, and there's nothing really that could help a person who's living with inadequate sanitation to improve their situation using this technology. In addition, a lot of engineers are kind of resistant to using the technology because it's different from what they've learned about in school. So this, the movie that I want to make, I want to use it as a teaching tool for engineering students, but also as a way that anyone who has access to the web, which is practically anyone, could get this information and use it. It can save lives around the world. UNICEF says that every day 3,000 kids die because of a combination of poor sanitation and contaminated water. And most of those deaths are preventable. And when open sewage is in the street, kids are playing in it, and they're getting the germs, and they're getting sick. kids and adults. I mean, adults get sick and die, lose work. It's a huge problem. So I'm excited about this project. I'm asking you for money. I hate asking people for money, but please send me money to do this project and help people around the world. But I also like to have some fun. My 13-year-old son has a YouTube channel. He and I make claymations together. And we made a really funny, fun claymation video for you as a thank you gift when you donate. So when you click on the donate button at the Razu site and you get to the end, then this funny Valentine's video will pop up. And I'm also really lucky because we got to use music from my sister's brand new CD, A Felicidade. She's lived in Brazil and speaks Portuguese, and she's an amazing singer and has this new Brazilian CD out. And so a couple of her songs are on the movie. So anyway, there you go. That's it. Thank you so much for your support. Take care.